Hello and welcome back. In this episode, I'm test riding the Ducati Desert X. For those that don't know, I'm looking for a touring bike to complement my CRF 300 rally. Don't worry, there'll still be lots of adventures on the CRF. In fact, I'm in the final planning stages of one right now. But this episode is about my time on the Ducati Desert X. My introduction to the Desert X was on a road ride, and to be honest, this is probably the majority of what I want out of the bike, a road-oriented touring bike. My dream road bike has always been the Ducati 851, so I was excited to ride the Desert X. I was expecting a loud, feisty Italian, and to be honest, I was a little disappointed with how civilized she was. But that disappointment quickly vanished. That civilized personality translated into a very easy bike to ride. Immediately, I felt comfortable with the bike, with its power and power delivery. It's easy to mistake this for lack of power, but that's far from the truth. In reality, it builds power so quickly and smoothly that it's very easy to be exceeding the speed limit and not even know it, something that I quickly paid more attention to. So after figuring out that its on-road manners and comfort were really nice, I wanted to test it in a more adventure touring role. After all, that is really what I'm after. Nothing too hardcore off-road, but able to handle gravel roads and a bit of dirt roads. So I rounded up some adventure buddies and set off on a textbook adventure ride. We fueled up and hit the highway to get us out of the city and into the countryside. The Desert X did this with ease and sat comfortably at legal speeds without any unwanted vibrations or wind buffering at my 5'10" height anyway. Next, we were into the twisty mountain roads, and the Desert X loved it. Armed with a quick shifter, it was easy to bang your way up and down through the gears. You would be forgiven for thinking that this is a more road-focused bike, like its brother, the Multistrada. Such was the confidence I now had in it on twisty tar roads. Then it was time to hit the dirt.
I can confirm that rally mode adjusts the traction control to let you have a little fun. Yeah, this is nice. This power delivery that I thought was a little soft for the road is actually perfect for the dirt. It's very, very predictable, well, very smooth delivery, and the more you wind on, the more power you get. It doesn't just break traction down low, which is great for the dirt. It's probably one of the little criticisms on the road. It could do with more bottom end. The motor produces its power up higher. We're in very loose gravel here, and I'm still learning the grip of the front. The grip of the rear is easily outstripped by the power of the motor, but not in an uncontrollable way. And the traction control in this rally mode is great. It lets you spin, have some fun, but it's not stepping out wildly. It's just really nicely controllable. And oh yeah, we're getting along at a good click. This builds speed at an alarming rate. Yeah, this is quick. But it's so easy. I said it was easy on the road. It's just as easy, if not easier, on the dirt. It hides its weight so well. I do not feel that I'm riding a big 1000cc bike. Oh, that quick shift up on the dirt, that's magic. Just hold it open and bang it up. Yeah, wow, this is nice. This is really nice.
About now, you should start be getting an understanding about how much the Desert X was impressing me with its dirt skills. I would love to edit in some cinematic footage and explain how much it was impressing me, but unfortunately, I can't. We packed up what was left of the drone and continued on.
This is it. Now we're on a proper dirt road. It handled the fire trail, gravel road, fire trail's fine. This will be a test for it. The suspension's not too stiff, it's actually soaking this up. This factory standard suspension is going great. Yeah, I can feel the bumps, but I haven't bottomed out, and it hasn't scared me with being unpredictable yet. Letting the other boys go ahead just to... Oh, okay. So, don't jump the Desert X. Okay, no one tell Worthington's that. I didn't jump it. So, if you do jump it, and I'm only light, I'm 70 kilos, the forks bottomed out. It wasn't too harsh, but yes, they did bottom out, so jumping is off the agenda. And really, I'm supposed to be testing this as an adventure bike, not a rally, a race bike. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, Sean. So reset my internal accelerometer to adventure cruise mode. And there you go. Click it up a gear. Very nice. Now this is more like it. This it can do. This is not taxing the suspension at all. I'm in control. The suspension is actually quite supple for a big bike. I'm in control. Yeah, things are good. Don't jump, don't jump. There we go. I've got the hang of it now. Not jumping. Definitely don't jump this one into the corner. Hey, maneuverability is good, just tips in. It doesn't feel like a big bike. I'm comparing this, for those of you that don't know, I had an Africa Twin, probably one of the first ones, 2016. I had that for 4 or 5 years, and I rode a lot on it. I rode a lot of dirt and took it to places that I shouldn't have. From day one, I was a little intimidated by its size and its weight. It did feel its weight. Whereas this Desert X, and I'm going to suggest it's because the motor layout is totally different. We have a twin cylinder with the weight a lot lower than a upright twin cylinder, and it feels vastly different. On paper, I'll have to have a look, but the weights might be comparable. Real world, yeah, it's chalk and cheese. This hides its weight so well. At these more moderate, and I would suggest sensible speeds, the suspension's great. I do have it in rally mode, which lets me lock up the back brake, as I will demonstrate here. Back brake, whoa, locked. As you can see, it stepped out. But that was me purposely doing it. When I apply some back brake in a normal manner, it's actually very controllable. I don't have the back brake locking up really when I don't want to, so the modulation of the brakes really good, and the front still has ABS on, and I'm making an assumption of that because I haven't really checked, but it's fine. Yeah, the front brake, I haven't had any hint of it locking up. Let's try a bit of a stop here. Oh, that's good. That's real good. I might even have a better go. Oh yeah, I can feel the ABS bigger handful. Yeah, modulate, modulate, modulate. But I'm in control. That's good. That's real good. It's not too off and on. I can feel it modulating, but I'm still in control. And yeah, it's good. Some other bikes, even my Africa Twin, when the ABS was modulating it, even though it was doing its thing, it didn't quite give me that degree of confidence that I wanted, that I could stop in time. But these brakes are really good in the dirt. I did mention before they were magic on the road, and I was concerned about how they would actually perform in the dirt on a much less grippy surface. But they're good. Even this front tyre, it's not what I would put, it's a standard front tyre for this, which is, I'll put it on the screen hopefully, I much prefer the Pirelli Scorpion Rally front tyre. Use that on pretty much every one of my bikes, and so I have a lot of confidence in that tyre in the dirt. This one, now that I'm used to it, I don't even think about it anymore, and that to me is the sign of a good setup. If I'm not conscious of any one thing, nothing is on my mind, brakes, suspension, power, any of those things, it's a sign of a good bike. I could just enjoy the ride. Now I've settled into adventure mode, the bike is so much more enjoyable. Not that it was, slow down, not that it wasn't when I was getting a bit frisky, but what I mean is it does everything so well and so easy. The boys are nice enough to wait for me. What a lovely afternoon to be out for a ride, and how lovely it is to be on the Ducati Desert X. This bike has really surprised me. I didn't think I'd like it. I thought it would be a fire-breathing monster, and I was a little disappointed at first that it wasn't. You know, I wanted that big bang, snarly exhaust, lots of noise and power, but it's been so smooth and easy to ride and easy to live with. It's just nice.
My one criticism of the bike, and it's not even the bike's fault, this test bike should have the aftermarket exhaust on it. It's what's missing. It's the soul, it's the passion of Ducati, that raw sound. Now, if it sounded something like this, well, that's another story. As we wound our way through the countryside, I thought long and hard about this bike and if it would be for me. I wanted a touring bike, something to take me out of the city and let me explore more of our country. This bike is definitely capable of that. Plus, as I had sampled today, much more. And that for me is the issue. There is so much crossover in what this bike can do, and do easily, and what my CRF is good at. I fear this bike could replace my CRF for 80 or 90% of the riding I do, and that's not what I want. Let me explain it this way. If this is our scale of terrain that we can encounter, I have my CRF 300 Rally that is off-road focused and okay up to freeway running. And at that end of the spectrum, there are some compromises. Now, the Ducati Desert X has the whole scale covered and would only be making some compromises in the hard off-road sections. I want a bike to complement my CRF, not replace it. And I fear that's what the Ducati Desert X would do. For 80 to 90% of my riding, I would be on the Ducati. It's that good. Luckily, this bike didn't have the race exhaust, because that would have pushed me over the edge. It would be in my garage now. My head told me to hand back the keys and continue looking for something more road focused and avoid me of these temptations. The ride back to the dealer did nothing but remind me how good this bike is. If you're looking for a do-it-all adventure bike that hides its weight well, has great manners both on and off-road, one that has great ergonomics for the average size rider, do yourself a favour and consider the Ducati Desert X. Be careful about riding one with an aftermarket exhaust. it might just steal your heart.